My name is Assa-Agyei. Working with text-based command line environment can be intimidating at first, but once you begin to understand how it works, you will see how powerful and efficient it can be. Learning the command line in Linux is important because it gives you power, speed, and control that the graphical interface can't always match. Now, here are the reasons. The command line lets you perform tasks in exact opinions and parameters. You can configure systems, manage files, automate processes with far more details than the graphical tool allow. Now, most Linux servers run without graphical user interface. So system administrators, engineers, software engineers, cloud professionals rely heavily on the terminal to manage systems. Now, what is Linux? Linux here is a general purpose computer operating system originally built by Linus Torvalds in 1991. It's inspired by Unix, designed to be free under the GNU General Public License. It has many variations and as well many distributions, but these are the common distributions available that I want to share with you: Debian, Edge, Slackware, and then Red Hat. But out of this, the two most popular distributions, the Debian family and the Red Hat family. Under the Debian family, we have distributions like Ubuntu, Kali Linux, Elementary OS, and Linux Mint. And also under the Red Hat family, we have CentOS, Cent, that's CENT-OS. We have Red Hat Enterprise Linux and Fedora. So let's assume that I've installed Fedora, then my machine or my operating system belong to the Red Hat family. So let's assume I've installed Ubuntu, then it belongs to the Debian family. What you need to do to follow up with this program or course is you having a computer running Linux. And obviously, whatever changes you do affect your operating system. So what I will advise is to install a virtual machine, VMware or VirtualBox, and then go onto the Linux website and download the ISO for Ubuntu. So in this course, I will be using Ubuntu desktop virtual machine. In some cases, you can also use a remote Linux machine. So you can set up an EC2 server and then use SSH to have access to the terminal. You can also use DigitalOcean and other platforms to gain access to remote Linux machines. So as I said, you need to work within the virtual environment. So you can install VMware. It's a powerful and then user-friendly virtualization platform. VirtualBox is also free, open source alternative for running virtual machines. So VirtualBox is free. You can easily download it by going to virtualbox.org. Then you click on download, you get to see the platforms, various platforms you select. If it's Windows, your machine is Windows, you select the VirtualBox Windows package and then you install. Now, so this is the link. So you can click on the first link to download ISO for Ubuntu 22.04. So I've made it very easy. Or you can just use the second link. It takes you to the Ubuntu website. You can easily download the latest version. Now, after successful completion of Ubuntu, you need to install all these utility tools, and they have meanings. So the first one here, this needs to be installed, or this needs to be done before any installation. So anytime you launch Ubuntu, you need to run this command. The next is to install wget. It allows you to install applications from the internet. The second one is openssh-server. This enables you to have passwordless access from one machine to the other using SSH. The second is install Vim. All these are dependencies. So good layout and colorful editing. The next is OpenVim tool. So here, this is a set of open source utility that improves integration between a Linux virtual machine and the VMware. And the next is NetTools. So this is a package that contains classic network utility programs for Linux. The next here refreshes the list of available update, then upgrades or installed packages. Right. And the last part one is a also utility. This command install a set of common networking, downloading, editing, and file handling tools that are useful on most Linux systems. And the last command, as I mentioned, this needs to be done before you perform any task or installation. The next is essential commands to install. You also need to install this other package as well, command. So the first one installs essential tools like compilers, file transfer utilities, version controls, test editor, network tools, and others, ensuring system is ready for development, troubleshooting, and basic networking tasks. The last one is to install tools for secure remote access, file transfer, network utilities, ensuring a versatile setup for development and system administration tasks. So you can actually type this command. Right. And then the last part on the slide is things that you need to know. Linux here is case sensitive. And also for you to have access to the terminal, the shortcut is Control plus Alt plus T. So Control Alt T. So the other ones are just few commands. We'll be talking about them. This course is very basic. The target is to just give some foundation to people who want to go into the area of Linux platform. In this, I'm using Ubuntu. Now, I have managed to install the Ubuntu on one of my VMware machines. So here I need to log in with my password. And in one of my videos, I showed you how to install Ubuntu. And I think during that process, I used a simple password. And then I'm going to use that same password to log in. So now when I log in, what I need to do is to gain access to my terminal and then try to install all the utilities, to allow the Ubuntu to work properly. So let's give ourselves some time. So let me click on terminal. And then I start typing. So let me try Control-Shift-Enter just to increase the test. So what you see is your prompt. I'll later talk about it. So this is your terminal. Normally we say terminal runs shell programs. But before I do that, I go into the nitty-gritties of it. Let me just start by installing the utilities. So here it will ask me of password. As time goes on, I will explain to you what sudo means. So that is super user do. I will explain all those concepts for you to understand. Perfect. The next command is sudo apt-get install wget. So I said this particular tool install applications from the internet. The next is, so let me use the top arrow key on the keyboard. Get install openssh-server. Yes, I need to type yes to keep the process running. Good. The next is to install Vim. So I use the top arrow key so that I don't need to be typing sudo apt-get install. So at least I will type the last command. Good. The next is to install open-vm-tools. And I said this is a set of open source utilities that improve integration between your Linux machine and VMware. So the next command is to type net tools. So I see the top arrow key stores the first 10 commands. The next, I need to type this command, sudo apt-get update, and then the ampersand key twice, sudo apt-upgrade. So this will take some time, just some few time, like 5 minutes or so. So let's see how it goes. Because here, as I said, it refreshes the list of available updates and then update all install packages. So this will take some few minutes, not too many minutes, but just few minutes. is sudo. So let me just use this, and then let me just come in here. Let me use the top arrow key so that I can get sudo app. It says install sudo app install ssh wget rsync net dash tools vim nano. It's a text editor. We'll talk about that. Unzip command and then y. So I think I will do up to this level, and then the other two you can run later. Right. So this other two, you can, let me see if I can copy from this side to save time. It's not allowing, so I will just have to type. Let me just see. It will not take time, so let me see. Sudo arrow key, top arrow key, sudo apt-get install -y build essential get dash tools. Perfect, nearly there. And this is the last one. Arrow key. So let me try to delete this. Install SSH. Wget. So you need to make sure you run all these utility tools so that your machine becomes ready for any task. So here you're trying to install other dependencies so that any command that you run, the terminal is able to recognize them. So that is it. So now I can clear my screen here so that I can make space. So now in this, good. So what you see is your terminal. As I said, let me open Notepad and then try to make some notes here. Now, we say terminal run shell programs. Right, so here it began with Thomson shell for Unix. And aside that, we have so many shell available. We have PowerShell, but the most common one, which is everywhere, is the bash shell. So this terminal runs bash shell. So the shell is also known as, so when you hear people saying command line interpreter, is the same as the shell. So the full meaning of bash is born again shell. Right. Now, So what you see here is your prompt. So here you can find your username, that is my username, then machine name, and the tilde character is telling me that I'm in my user home folder, which is this one. So when I double click on this file here, this is my user home folder, desktop. So when I type the command list, it will list them for me. So desktop, document, download, music, and what have you. Right. Now, you can try typing in a wrong command. So a typical example can be list. So here is a command, this command cannot be found. So here it doesn't spoil anything. But obviously you need to know the right command and type. So another command to clear the screen so they have space is a command clear. Now let's talk about how the command line environment is structured. So understand how commands are structured. Now for Linux, right, it has the format command followed by options. So you see you can have a single option or just multiple options. That's why I have them in that bracket. And arguments, you can have 2 or 3 or single argument. So I can have arguments. So what are commands? So commands here are programs you are running. A typical example can be command list. So here, this command lists content within a directory. So some of the terms that I'll be using is directory. It's like folder. So in Windows, we call it folder. In Linux environment, it's called folder or directory. I can also have a command called sort to sort for something. Now, let me talk about options. Options here tells the program how to operate. Basically, it changes the behavior of the command. So here with options, it begins with dash. So a typical example can be ls, which is a command. So always there's a command. You can have a Linux environment where you just see command, no option, no argument. So always remember that there is a command. But you can also have a command followed by options only, no argument. So this is a typical example, ls minus l. So here it changes the behavior of the command. So here, when I come in here and I type in ls-l, you realize that it changes the behavior. Here it gives you more information about the files within that particular home directory. It's telling you that it is a folder, you have a folder, the desktop is a folder, the document is a folder, the next here is permissions, the next is talk about permissions as we move on. These are owners of the file, group settings of the file, the file size, the date and time that the file was last edited, and the file name itself is desktop. Right. You can also have an argument. So what are arguments? So here, this also tells the program what to operate on. So here, whether to operate on a text or a folder. So a typical example is I can say ls minus l document. So here, this document here is the argument. So here, this command is going to operate on this document. So when you understand this, then we are good to go. Now, the next thing that I want to do is to try taking you through how to explore. So how to explore and navigate the file system. So obviously, you know, files, folders, and things like that. So I'll just use that to make you enjoy Linux, just make you enjoy Ubuntu. So now this is what I've done. For you to follow up with this particular program, I've created a shared file and I've just dropped them onto my repository, GitHub repository. So for you to have access to that particular file, right? So you just have to type maybe the command sudo. I said every time that you launch Ubuntu, you need to type the command Linux environment. You need to type it. Great. Let me clear the screen. And then I can just also install the dependencies for Git so that I can download. So I can say sudo, I will explain all this sudo command. And then I say install -y unzip wget. So I'm trying to install this. And then I need to type git clone. You realize that I've opened my home directory. So I'm trying to download a file here. So realize that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have a reason why I have this opened, right? So that you can see anytime I drop in something. So HTTP, and then I say colon. So this, I'm taking you to my repository. So type the same thing, and then you'll be able to have access to the practice file. So I have here the name, type what you see and get. When I press enter, it's cloning it. Realize that this file has been added, right? So now when I type in ls, now it's telling me that a new file has been added. You can see this is a new file. When I type ls-l, it tells me whether it is a folder. So that is it. Now, this is what I want to do. Because I've not done more commands with you, I can decide to right click on it, and then I'm going graphical. That's this, and then drop it in my document directory. So there's a command called move, right? MV. So as you mature, we'll be doing more commands on that, so you don't need to worry. When I double click in this, right, you realize that this file is unzipped. Sorry, it is zipped. So you just need to right click on it and then extract the file so that you get a folder. Here, you can come in here and delete this because I obviously don't need a zip file because I already have the folder here. So this is what I want to do. I can decide to come here because I have this in another folder. I don't want too many folders, subfolders. So I'll bring it back and then I drop it into the document directory. Then I delete this. Now, I have a reason why I have this space in between. Because in most cases, you can encounter a folder with space. So with this, I want to go into this because I'm here. If I have my terminal this way, it means I'm within this location. So when I type in a command, I need to go to this CD, sorry, the document directory. So what I need to type is CD. The full meaning for CD is change directory. Then I type in the folder name, the directory name. Then I press enter. So obviously when I do it this way, I am within this directory. So let's assume that I want to go into this practice file. So what I need to type, the same command cd, I can type practice. So I have a reason why I'm doing this is to give me an error. So here, because of the space, because the batch feels that I'm trying to access practice and cannot find it because it's practice space file. So for me to go into that, I need to type cd, and I can use, we have two options. I can type practice, and then I gave the file name. So type what you see, because I said it is case sensitive. So obviously I am in there, right? So the same way I can use the command called cd two periods to move back up the folder structure. So if I want to go back to the document directory, I type this command. It means that now I am here within the document directory. Is that okay? So when I do ls, when I do ls here, it will list this particular file for me. Another method is I can type in practice, and then I use the backspace. Because of space, you use the backspace to tell the bash that there is a space. So it accepts it now. So the same way, I can do cd ... it takes me back. I can say cd. So here, I can also say cd ... it takes me back. So here I can type some so many parts in there. So I can say document / and then at the same time I can type practice / files. So here it takes me straight away to this particular directory. Now I can type the command ls -R, and then here, look at this. When I type in ls, it lists the files that you can see here on the side: unit, list, narrate, simple underscore data.txt file. So here I can type the command ls-l units. I said it's case sensitive. So here what it's trying to do is trying to list folders recursively. What I mean is that this is a helpful way of exploring a whole structure of folders. So here it's telling me that when you want to know what is happening within the unit folder, you double click, it gives you a folder by name finance and HR, IT, and marketing. So you see, list those ones. And then it breaks it down. When you go into finance, it gives you account, and then it ends there. It's empty. It reports all those ones for you. So here I can come down, clear the screen, and then I say cd units. So I'm in the unit directory. I can decide to go into HR. So when I type in cd HR, I'm in HR. So here, obviously, I'm here. So I can also say cd, I'm HR here. I can come here and type in cd employee, employee, because of space, remember that, info, and then close it. So here I'm within that. So you see I type cd several times. So the same way I can also say cd, when I type cd command, it takes me to my home directory. So here, if I want to start all over, I type cd document, and then in document, I can say I want to access practice. Files. And then in that, I can say unit. So I'm here within the unit directory. And then the same way, I can decide to go into the HR and also employee info. So I can say cd HR and then let's say policies. So here it takes me to my policies directory. Right. So here I can actually use the periods, the dots, the dot in conjunction with other parts. So let's say I'm currently within the policies folder, which is empty. When I type ls, nothing will pop up. So here I want to move from policy to IT department and then to networking, right? So one way someone can type cd dot dot enter, cd dot dot enter, then the person will get to this stage, and then the person write cd IT and then / networking. I just want to use the dot dot in conjunction with the part so that I want to jump over to IT and networking. So what I'll do is I type cd dot dot, obviously will move me to my HR, and then / dot dot again will move me to unit. Then I now identify my folder where I want to jump into and then go to networking till I end it. So currently I am within my network folder. So when I type this command pwd print working directory, it gives me the path. I can also type this command cd dash here. What I'm trying to do is it takes you to the previous folder, which I was on policies. So when I type in the command print working directory, I was here and I did that 2 dots, right? The dots in conjunction with other parts to take me to the networking folder. So networking folder. So when I type the cd dash, it takes me to my previous path. So here I type cd and it takes me straight away to the home folder, user home folder. So let's say currently I am here. I've managed to get to the side. I want to create a folder. So the command to create a folder is make directory. Then you give the folder a name. So let me give it new folder. So here a new folder is added. A new folder is added. The same way I can also go into cd document and also document, and then type cd practice dash / files, and then in this I can say make, I'm trying to make a folder in my networking folder and call it hardware, right? So here I come in here, I type in units, right? Then I move on to IT and I move on to networking. This is networking. In here, I'm trying to create a folder here. And then in this, I type in hardware. So here a folder is created. I can also use the top arrow key within that same folder. I can create another one called software and then maintain the same. So I'm doing creating multiple folders. And and then I create another one called have software, and then let me create another one called maybe web app. So when I type enter, 2 folders created. Right. So here I'll pause and then we continue in another video. Thank you.